Hey, whole team. I hope you are well today. It is the 17th of February already, if you can believe that. And what I'm trying to stick to this year is a monthly, kind of a mid-month communication to you about how we're doing as a company and the priorities that we're trying to stay focused on. So, thanks for giving me your time today. And I'm hopeful it'll be meaningful for you to see where we're going as a business and how you can and jump in and contribute. So, I just got to say that January was really a solid month. I can't tell you how important it is to get a lead early. Much like sports, if you get down in a game, it's real hard to fight back, and you almost have to spend twice the amount of energy to at least catch up to the team that's leading. And so we got out of the gates pretty strong in January. Our sales are up over last year. We have orders that are up a couple percentage points. We shipped quite a bit more pounds. In fact, 25% more pounds than last year as a company. All kinds of bright spots. The company was able to turn a profit on a monthly basis, and we had excellent gross profit generation, all while running the business and keeping a lot of our top priorities aligned. Early into February, really, it's halfway through the month already. We see real good results. There's been a couple of weather incidents that have kind of slowed us down, but overall, our numbers are building upon January, and I'm expecting to come to you next month and say, hey, we had a very solid start to the new year with 2 great months. Thanks for your part in that. Every single one of us plays a part in the success of the business, whether it's at a branch or at headquarters. Overall, without your help and support in what you do every day, we can't have fun and accomplish the things we want to try to do, which ultimately is to grow and to carry on the mission of the McNichols Company. So even with that, so I guess there's a lot we want to get done. So those are great things to start with, and then I have to say that there's a lot of priorities that I talked about in last month. We've got e-commerce, we've got CRM upgrade, we're going to move Chicago, and we're trying to work on some marketing things to do differently. We're looking at our learning and development modules and just all kinds of things that are on the table. And I was driving home Friday night a couple weeks ago, and it had been a long week. I think there was some travel squeezed in there or something, and I just felt like, oh my goodness, like how are we gonna get all this done? And when I feel anxious, when I feel like I have too much on my plate, I don't know if you're like me, but if you are, you might also get that way, and you start to doubt, and you start to think, man, are we focused on the right things? Are we trying to do too much? And I had some really good advice from a good friend of mine, my best friend, and it was my wife, and she said, honey, what's wrong? And I said, I'm just overwhelmed. And she said, what really has to get done? And I stopped and thought about that, and I'm like, you're a knucklehead. Why did you not think of this already? Well, God put her in my life to sometimes remind me of that I'm a knucklehead and I need some extra advice. So I did some work over the weekend, and I kind of jotted down a few things that I thought, you know what? We have to get these things done in order to be successful. So I kind of wanted to run through those with you. And we can't get it all done in the period of time in which we want to. But I'll tell you this, we're going to get it done. It takes time and it takes a plan. So I don't know if you've ever had a sore back and you are into going to a chiropractor. I know maybe many of you do, but I on occasion go because I need an adjustment, and sometimes something gets out of whack. So you show up at the appointment and you want to get aligned, right? And the doctor puts you on the table and he pops a couple of your vertebrae or whatever, and you're just like, oh, it feels so good, and you want him to just like totally twist and crack your neck and do everything. And if he's a good chiropractor, he or she recognizes that little tweaks at a time allow your spine to get in alignment. So my hope today is for us to get in alignment on a couple of issues so that you know how to best support the effort. The first is, no matter what I say, no matter what we do, it has to be about serving the customer. We get the chance 1,000 a day, 1,000 plus a day inquiries, and we get a chance to turn those into orders. That's our first priority. Everything else is second. So we have to be at the ready to get those things accomplished. And then I thought about, why don't we just what do we really need to move Chicago? I mean, do we? Eh, yeah, we do. Our lease is coming up, and so we've got to put that on the front burner. So we have a team that's actively involved in planning for this major event in our business, which is going to, I believe, really catapult our growth because we'll have more inventory, more products to feed to the other branches quicker from a back order standpoint, more options for the customer, and certainly amazing associates not only there but throughout the country to help get that done. So that's a pretty big one. So looking for your support there. We're looking to move in the middle of June the office, and over the July 4th weekend we are going to move the majority of the operation. So all the associates up there are excited about it. Was just there last week, and it's going to be really, really cool. And I'm really appreciative of the sacrifice that each one of them has said they'll make over a holiday weekend, which is normally reserved for family time. So that's a pretty big deal, especially when you consider, our culture and how we try to really have a healthy balance there. Learning and development is another huge thing for us. I'd love to tell you that we're going to get it all done, and we're going to have a slick system to have you be able to go in and kind of chart where you're at, and you follow your different modules based on your job classification, and we're going to get there. But not right away. We have to really pull back and say, what is important now? And I think one of the most important things, and I've heard this from other associates and from leadership, and that is we have to get very, very good on the customer experience. Even better than we are today, which we are phenomenal. And I was in a customer last week up in the Chicago area, and he was just raving about our service. His salesperson is Janet Alexiak in Chicago, and he told us, John Kirkman and I were on the call, and he told us that Janet was one of the top 3 people in the state of Illinois on the customer service desk. Janet, thank you for what you do. You're passionate. You never leave a customer hanging. And I know there are many associates out there like you that really care and serve the customer. So that's huge. So we got to do that, and we want to teach to that standard. So I think the words in which we use, the emails in which we write, the way in which we communicate with each other, we have to be really excellent at that and different than the rest. So our training and development team, our regional trainers, Tammy and Lindsay and Kelly in the field are going to support Sue and AJ from Tampa and Andrew, and we're going to reintroduce some kind of basics that I think all of us can get better at. So give you a thought. So it's freezing in Chicago. We got there last week, and we get to the hotel at like 9 o'clock at night or whatever, and it's cold. And so they have a valet. Sometimes I opt for that option. I'm opting for that option on a freezing cold night for this Florida boy because I'm a wuss. So we pull up, valet's great, takes the key, go upstairs, fall asleep, wake up in the morning, we're getting ready to go, and so I look at the phone and I'm like, oh, I pushed that button for the valet, and on the phone it had like some kind of a script that said delighted to serve. I'm like, it's not as cool as inspired to serve, but delighted to serve. That's pretty awesome. So I called the phone, and this lady picked up, and she's like, hi, my name's Joanne. I'm delighted to serve. How may I help you? I'm like, whoa, this is solid. So I show up downstairs. We all pile in the car. The cars are there, warmed up, ready to go. Off to the branch for the day. So later on that evening, we got home a lot later, and it was like 11 o'clock. Back to the hotel, and we pull up. It's frigid. It's 17 degrees. Again, some people from Florida were with us. We pull up, and we're like, man, it looks kind of dead out here. And I look at the valet stand, and it says, valet took the night off. Really? So we had to go park the car. I know, big deal. But it was like, how's that delighted to serve? He takes the night off, he or she? Seriously? So I think that perhaps there are ways in which we might do that. We might say we're inspired to serve, and we are. I see plenty of examples of it. So do you. You heard me just talk about Janet, and others do that as well. And we can get better. So I think this is a nice separator for us. Anybody can have the whole products in the locations we're in, but it's our people choosing to bless customers with our voice and the things that we say. So let's not take the night off, if you will, and let's focus on service. You'll see more things coming from us there. The other thing we have to do is we have a CRM enhancement, and we also have e-commerce, and we want to do them both. And we're working on both, and yet there are resources that are tied to both being implemented. Our priority is to implement phase 1 of the CRM refresh, which is the account summary screen. It's likely going to save about 30 seconds of phone call by the different way the code works to bring everything together. So you have, the CSS has the right information in front of them at the right time on the phone call, and that'll help, obviously help our service experience. Very excited about that, and we're looking at rolling that out within the next couple of weeks, actually doing it a pilot phase and then rolling it out to the rest of the branches. I know Andy and his team are very excited about what they're doing there. And then of course there's e-commerce. There's lots to do there. We're still looking at a end of first quarter pilot launch, which means we're going to launch it to just a few customers, maybe 400 or 500. We have thousands and thousands of customers, so we want them to experience it and test it, and to make sure that is a reasonable and good experience for them, an improved experience of what we have. So should we wait? Well, I think we wait on some things because we don't have the ability to do everything all at once. We have a great e-commerce site right now. We're going to continue to use that until we know we're ready to launch the next greatest McNichols site on the planet. There's a bunch of stuff going on in marketing. I'm already at 11 and a half minutes. So I'm gonna kind of tell you that we're looking at reclassifying how we contact customers, the various different ways we do that. It's very robust. It's not just the print anymore. It hasn't been for a while. There's SEO, there's digital, there's social, there's ads, there's certainly the print and the catalog. So we're looking at aligning all of that properly and right with the right customers and those intersections. Lots of work to do there, but I'm very encouraged by what I see so far, and I think you will too. That's ultimately going to do what? Generate additional opportunities for us to serve customers. And if we're at the ready, which I know we will be, we will close more of those orders, and customers will decide that McNichols is really the only option for whole products because it's the best experience out there. And certainly last but not least is our associate development. We are actively looking for ways to make that career path opportunity for you, those that want that, more visible. We are excited to say that our operations development program is rolling out this quarter. So ops guys, you'll see a clearer path on how you can grow within the business, not only financially, but if you're encouraged about being a leader, you want to make your skill set more vast, that opportunity is going to be there for you and for us to really support you in that effort. I'm very excited about the work that Brandon and the support from Sue and her team is giving to our operations associates. But I tell you what, I had a chance to be last week with Angelica a little bit in Chicago, and she just got promoted to ASM, Assistant Sales Manager. So Ryan thought it would be a good idea to send her down to Atlanta to spend some time with S.E. Collins and the Atlanta team, who have a great spirit, and they have a lot of different things they're doing to try to energize what their message to the customer. And so I was just talking to Angelica, and I wish everyone could have listened in on the conversation, because this young lady was so excited about the possibilities and maybe a little unsure as to how to get some of those things implemented. But the idea of the fact that she has a dream, that she has an approach, that she wants to do some things differently to help our associates get excited about serving customers and finding different ways to do that is really cool. And she says to me, Scott, SC is awesome. The team in Atlanta, they're so awesome. I can't wait to go back. And when I hear stuff like that, it reinforces for me that I believe we're doing a lot of the right things in our culture and how we're treating each other. Imperfectly, for sure, but definitely something that we're focused on as well. So last thought, and we're getting close to here on time. So last week we're in Chicago, and there's a lot going on, and I thought about, do you guys remember the game when you were little, Monkey in the Middle? Okay, you remember it, right? Who really liked Monkey in the Middle? Be honest. Who freaking wants to be the monkey in the middle? Nobody wants to be the monkey in the middle, because that's the one that can't get the ball that the other two throw over, and it's teasing, it's laughing, and every once in a while you grab it, but you're probably back in the middle pretty soon. It's just fail. It's just not a very good game. And you know what? I think sometimes, if we're honest, we might put the customer in the middle. They might be the monkey in the middle. So I got last week put in the middle a little bit. I go to, we have a meeting about the new branch, and it comes down to a decision on the crane and how they're going to be installed. And so the crane vendor says, well, we made the columns to land on the floor and be bolted into the floor. Well, the contractor has them a foot deep. The columns need to run into the footer, and then the base floor is poured. We got a foot of steel to deal with on all the columns. And so I'm like in the middle of two engineers, me and others, and we're trying to work all that out. And I thought, man, great. I gotta now help the two of them come together and decide. And of course, we're paying both bills. So it was awkward. So we met with the crane vendor. They're very open and doing whatever, but it was still a decision that we had to make. And then I got with a contractor later on that evening, and I said, look, here's the deal. There's this foot we got to work with. I'm just not really sure what to do. And to his credit, he said, Scott, let us and the crane company work it out. You don't have to be concerned about this any longer. We'll do the right thing. Take it off your mind. And I thought, you know what? I'm not in the middle. So that's a really good feeling, whole team. I see every single one of you each year, and it's awesome to watch location to location and at headquarters to see associates like you not putting customers in the middle and making sure that we serve them in every way we can. Asking them how we can help, asking each other how we can help each other serve is ultimately going to be what gets us to the goals that we want to achieve and to serve more customers. Thank you for listening. It's very, very important that I get a chance to maybe share with you a little bit about what we're doing, and I'm very encouraged about the direction we're heading, and I hope you are too. Have a great day. Don't be the monkey in the middle, or don't put anybody there. Bye.